me read to you something, see if it jogs your memory a little bit, okay? Think about a couple of weeks ago, you were showing me how you grabbed that girl at school and threw her into the trophy case. When you grabbed me so hard, I saw in your eye the anger and rage you felt then. You scare me. I should have known this was coming.
I remember walking to my house and my dog was following me. But I don't even remember anything.
You remember that, okay?
I remember that.
Listen, Darrin, okay? It's time to be done with these games.
I'm done with the games.
Okay.
I've been done with the games.
Thank you, okay?
You don't know why you do that you do whenever you're on.
Last time on, They Caught Me. El Paso PD is investigating the murder of a woman named Denise Weatherly. Early in the new year in 2017, Denise is found deceased in her apartment. The police bring in her best friend, Darrin Marie Yeager, to question her about her whereabouts over the last 48 hours. And they also ask about the big fight her and Denise had about 2 weeks before her murder. Darrin claims that the fight had to do with a dispute about Denise's injured dog. But police have been doing some digging, and they have found a secret so sensitive that they believe would make Darrin furious if it ever got out. They also believe it's a secret that could give Darrin a reason to kill. During part 2, as they confront Darrin about the details she has shared in her previous statement, her story slowly begins to unravel, and we are left with the truth. And it's not just any kind of truth, it's the ugly truth.
All right. Now, you and I have met before, okay?
Yes.
My name is Detective David Camacho, okay? My ID is 2689, and this is my partner,
Detective Ontiveros 2649.
okay? And I tell you my ID just so you know who I'm talking, you know who you're talking to, and things like that. Thank you very much for coming. You came voluntarily, okay? Did you come voluntarily?
Yes.
Okay. You're not under arrest, okay? There's just certain questions I gotta ask. I want to show you some pictures and things like that,
Okay.
okay? But just like the other interview, okay? Everything we talk about, I have to write down, okay? That way, later on, when I make my police report, our police reports, they're accurate to the notes that, the interviews that we did, okay? If something makes you uncomfortable and you don't, you're not okay with me writing it down, you let me know, I'll put my pen down and we can talk about it, okay? But the number one thing here is honesty,
Yes.
okay? Honesty. Because I'm very honest, she's honest, and we're here to talk,
Yes.
okay? Do you know what this building is?
No.
It's a
No.
police headquarters, okay? Do you know where this building is located at?
No. I've
Okay.
never.
Okay. You've been here before the
Yeah, I've
night
been
that we
here.
met,
Yeah.
right? But this police station is 911 North Rainer, okay?
Okay.
Just so you know where you're at, okay?
Okay.
I don't want you to feel disoriented or anything like that. Again, you're not under arrest, okay? And you came on your own free will. I am going to take some notes. If I sound repetitive, I'm sorry. It's just that I got to write it down because not, I'll forget about it, okay? And if I ask you to repeat something, it's not that I don't believe you, it's that sometimes I'm hard of hearing. So that's why, I just want to make sure that I'm writing down the correct thing, okay?
Okay.
The case number that we're talking about is 17-002-097. Okay, it's an incident that happened at the apartment complex that you live in. Okay, which the address there is. Okay, and the apartment that this incident happened at is apartment. Okay,
Okay.
right now the time is 5:43 p.m. Okay, and the date is January 6th of 2017. Okay?
Okay.
You understand and read English, correct?
Yes.
Every time we speak to somebody, we have to read them their rights. It's something that I read to you last time that I spoke with you. And it's just, something that we need to do, okay? So that way you understand them, okay? You have the right to remain silent, not make any statement at all. And any statement you make may be used against you at trial. Any statement you make may be used as evidence against you in court. You have the right to have a lawyer present to advise you prior during any questioning. If you're unable to employ a lawyer, you have the right to have a lawyer appointed to advise you prior during any questioning. You have the right to terminate this interview at any time. If you're not a United States citizen, you have the right to contact the consulate. Okay, do you understand your rights?
Yes.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes.
Where were you born at?
Indiana.
Indiana?
Indianapolis, Indiana. Yes.
Okay. And you are unemployed?
Yes.
You're a housewife, correct?
Yes.
What is your telephone number? Your cell phone number?
My cell phone number is 915.
And now that cell phone, where is that cell phone located at right now?
With my mother.
With your mother?
Yeah.
Where at?
Chaparral.
That's quite suspicious. A woman without her cell phone on her? Hopefully my wife didn't hear me.
Does she normally take your phone?
I left it in there because I went somewhere with her today.
You left it in where?
In her truck.
Okay. In her truck. And then, did you leave it there on accident?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. We are investigating the death of Denise Weatherly. Okay?
Yes.
Now I understand you have a friendship with her, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about that friendship.
We met 5 years ago while we were walking my dog, me and my son, and we just struck up a conversation.
Okay. How often would you guys see each other?
That would depend on if she's feeling okay, if I'm feeling okay, maybe a couple times a week.
Okay. And how would you guys communicate?
We would text each other.
Text each other?
Yeah.
Last time that I talked to you, you told me that you use your house phone a lot because you have no reception up there or your cell phone does not
Yeah,
work.
it doesn't work in certain spots in my house.
But
So
text messages, they do work or no?
whenever I send them, it takes them a while to get to them.
Okay. So basically, the base of communication with Denise, did you call her Denise? Did you call her anything else?
No.
Okay, because she had a middle name. Okay. So that's why I'm wondering if you call her by her middle name, first name, and things like that. Okay, so you call her Denise.
Denise.
So you would text back and forth with her?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you guys would communicate?
Yeah, or she would call me.
Okay. How often would you guys speak?
Like I said, we would walk every night if possible.
Every night if possible?
If possible.
Okay. Now, last time I spoke with you, you and her had a little argument
Yes.
on or about the 19th of December.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was recorded through police databases. Police officer responded to your house,
Mm-hmm.
and you spoke to management at your apartments about that incident.
Mhm.
Okay, talk to me a little bit about that.
We got into it, and
Why?
why? Because of what happened with her dog.
What happened with her dog?
Her dog got attacked by some dog at the apartment complex that was roaming around.
Okay.
And I'm a vet assistant because I have my degree in vet assisting.
Okay.
So I'd like to help out with animals and stuff, but I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't go over there. And she got into it with me. She came over there and we started arguing. And, she hit me and then I pushed her. And, I called the police whenever I got inside.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, well, you might want to inform management about it. And I said, okay. So I informed management about the previous day. And that's all that she said, that they couldn't take any action out on her. So I said, I don't want a restraining order from her because I don't want to get into that, you
Okay.
know, because that's messy, restraining orders, and
Right.
'cause, you know, we usually, if we had an argument, we would normally, you know, discuss it afterwards once we're both calmed down and everything else.
Okay.
And, because that's the kind of person she was. You
Okay.
know, she was very forgiving, very, you know, and we would always forgive each other at the end of it all, you know, because we would realize it'd be something something stupid,
Right.
you know. And
How did you guys make up this time?
I went over there to talk to her, and
About what day would you say?
what day? I'm not good at days and times, but I can guess. It was probably on a weekday because I know my husband was gone.
Okay.
So it was probably on a weekday.
Okay.
And I went over there to talk to her, and, you know, I said, I'm sorry. You know, we shouldn't have got into it like this. You know, we're better than this. We're friends. So, you know, we decided to forgive each other because it was something stupid that we were fighting over.
Right.
You know, and that's how we made up whenever, because I went over there and talked to her.
Okay.
And then we went to the park with our dogs, and we just sat there and talked like we normally do,
Good.
you know.
The fight escalated to something physical because of the dog. Was there anything else you two were arguing about?
No, I don't believe so.
It upset her that much that you weren't helping her, that
Yeah.
she got physical with you?
Because, yes, it was kind of my fault, because I should have, you know, got up and helped her with her dog and all this stuff, because I shouldn't have been like that, you know what I mean? I shouldn't have been,
And the argument was just about the
it
dog?
was just about that, yeah.
Nothing else? You didn't discuss anything else that got her so upset
No,
to the point where she got physical?
no, because we were texting each other, and that's when the fight started, because we were texting each other, and because I was gonna go over there to talk to her, but she came over, because as soon as I was walking out the door, she came up the stairs,
Do you still have those text messages on your phone?
probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, my fellow crime junkies, let's make sure we listen very carefully to the details of the day of the murder, because that's what he's about to talk to her about.
Now, what did you do on New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve, I was at home.
You were at home? What? Just hanging out, or
Yeah, just
did you stay up till midnight? What did you do?
oh, nothing really. We just watched TV together. And
Who's we?
Me and my husband.
Okay.
And you know, he's in and out on the weekends.
Okay. Where did he go in and out to?
He'd take his daughter somewhere.
Okay.
So, you know, when he's taking her somewhere, I'm there with my son, and because usually I don't want to go with him to go drop her off,
Okay.
you know. So I just stay home with my son because he likes playing video games. So I'm just sitting there with him.
So you stayed at your apartment on the 31st the whole day?
Except for in the afternoon,
Okay. Where'd you go?
Walmart.
Walmart? Okay. What time to what time did you go to Walmart?
I went to Walmart probably around 1.
1 p.m.?
Yes.
So about what time?
Till about 1:30. It didn't take that long.
Which Walmart was this?
The Walmart on Mesa.
Mesa and what else?
I think it's Mesa and I don't know the other street it conjoins to, but it's on Mesa.
Did you go by yourself?
Yeah.
What did you drive there, or did you walk there, or what did you do?
No, I drove.
You drove what car?
My mom's truck that she gave me.
Okay, so you drove your truck. Did you pay with cash or did you pay with your card?
Oh no, I was there picking up money from my dad because he had sent money for me.
So you picked it up in a parking lot, Western Union? How?
No, they do Walmart to Walmart. Inside, you go to the pay center,
Okay.
and that's where I got it.
Okay, and is it only like a Walmart card, or do they give you cash, or how do they do that?
They give you cash. Or if you want a card, they give you your card, but they gave me cash.
They give you cash?
Yeah.
Does your dad normally send you cash?
Yeah.
Okay. How often does he send you cash?
Maybe once a month.
Okay. And then from there, where did you go?
Home.
You go home? Just straight into your apartment and stayed in your apartment?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so you guys text often.
Mm-hmm.
So then, when was the last time you text her? That she texts back?
She texts back. Because I had texted her that day,
Mm-hmm. Which is that day?
New Year's Eve.
Okay. What did you tell her?
Just, hi, how are you doing? You know, normal conversation. And that's usually how our conversation started out. Just, how are you doing?
Did she text back?
Yeah.
What did she say?
She said, I'm doing okay, tired. You? And I text back and I said, I'm not feeling too good, but okay. And that's usually how our text messages went.
Okay.
You know, if she wasn't feeling well, she'd say, oh, I'm not feeling good. And if I'm not feeling good, then, you know.
Okay. Around what time was that?
That was probably around 5:30.
PM?
Yeah.
Okay.
5:30, 6:30, somewhere in between there.
Okay. And you have those text messages on your phone?
I should, yeah.
Okay. And it's in Chaparral with your mom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, about 5:30 she texts back, I'm not feeling well, and then what else happens?
That's it.
Okay. And then you don't text her at all on the first, you don't text her at all, and then how is it that you find out that something happened to her?
Sonia came over to get me the day that they found her.
What did Sonia tell you?
She said something happened to Denise, and I just threw on my shoes and ran with her, and we went over there, and she said that Yoli had found her, and she came to get me whenever
Okay.
that happened.
When did they tell you that she was no longer alive?
When did they tell me?
Uh-huh.
She told me whenever I went over there.
What did she tell you?
She said, we were in the middle of the street by the dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
Yoli said, oh, she's not alive anymore. She said she stabbed herself. She didn't want to live anymore. And I said, you know, because normally when we're feeling down,
Mm-hmm.
we would tell each other
Mm-hmm.
how we're feeling, you know. Which was just kind of shocking because we usually told each other everything.
Okay.
You know.
No, that's good that you guys tell each other everything, okay?
Mhm.
Talk to me about this pill problem that you guys had together.
Now, here's where we find out if some of the viewers were correct. He's talking about the pills. Jennifer said, I'm going to guess she stole pills from the victim. Bonnie said, I'm only 12 minutes in, but I'm thinking she probably stole her friend's pills and she's high right now. I'd agree, Bonnie. She was pretty high last video. Matt said she was stealing her friend's pills. Absolutely, addicts do addict stuff. Let's see if these guys were right.
Well,
And I'm not gonna write none of this stuff down. Don't worry about it. I just want you to be honest with me. Okay?
The pill problem.
Yes.
Okay. We were both addicted to painkillers because we had been prescribed them by the doctor. And then whenever all this stuff happened with the narcotics, when they bumped up the hydrocodone to a different level, you know what I mean? He wouldn't give them to me anymore,
Okay. The doctor.
the doctor,
Okay.
because he said you should go see a pain doctor.
Okay.
So I made an appointment with the pain doctor, but I never went. And yes, we both had problems with pills.
Okay. Would you guys
It's
share
not
the
something
pills?
that we were proud of here.
Right.
We would talk about this often. You know, we would say, wish we weren't ever got addicted to pills, and you know, it's something that's like a bad habit, like smoking but worse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But our problems were our problems. We would tell each other our problems.
Right.
You
Now,
know?
would you guys share the pills? Would she give you some? Would you give her some? How would that work?
To be honest with you,
Uh-huh.
yes, we would share.
Okay, good. And thank you for being honest with me. I'm not looking at charging you for having pills and sharing pills and none of that,
Yes,
okay?
because we would share, and it wasn't something we were proud of in each other. You
Okay.
know, that was one of our faults. You know, I got hooked on hydrocodone. It's not something I'm proud of.
Okay. Hydrocodone, what else? What else would you guys share?
Sometimes we would smoke together,
Smoke?
marijuana,
Okay. What else? What other kind of pills would you guys share?
the same antidepressants, the same everything.
Yes.
When she didn't have any, I would give her some.
Okay.
Vice versa, you know.
Tell me again on how you got these scratches on your face, because they're not that pronounced right now, but when I met you, you had scratches on your face. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me exactly how you got those and when.
Okay, it was, I think it was New Year's Day, I believe.
New Year's Day. Okay.
Yes, I believe so. I got up from bed, and lately whenever I get up and walk a few steps, my eyes go black.
Okay.
Because I don't eat. I have not eaten in a long time, so it makes me kind of, my blood pressure go down, and then I fall.
Okay.
Because I was walking into the bathroom, my husband was in bed, and we were talking, and I got up and was going to the bathroom, and I fell on the floor. And, yeah, I got the scratches on my face, but later on, I got this from when I fell on the floor.
Okay.
Because I feel from when I fell, like on my face hurts. And because I can always feel whenever I fall. Because
Okay.
I can feel
Where did you fall at?
between the doorway and the toilet.
Between the doorway and the toilet,
Yes, right by the sink.
right by the sink. And what did you hit yourself with?
I just fell like straight forward because I blacked out.
Okay. So you fell straight forward. So the ground created those scratches.
Yes.
Okay. So now, the ground created those scratches, and you fell on the 1st of this month.
Yes.
Okay. And it was these two scratches and this one right here,
Yes.
which we photographed.
Yes.
Okay.
They are pointing out the revelation of scratches on her chest because they found that when they were photographing her injuries 5 days before this interview. She was trying to hide that, just like she was trying to hide her thumb all interview. Once they found that scratch on her chest, she has had 5 days to think about an excuse. And instead of thinking about saying that the neighborhood cat did it, she opted to stick with the bathroom floor. Have you noticed that I don't have ads playing every 4 to 5 minutes throughout my videos, effectively ruining your viewing experience? Well, I did it for you. I moved my ads into 2 separate commercial breaks, one in the middle of the video and one near the end. This should effectively give you extremely long periods of ad-free crime action. If you want to reward me for trying to give you a better viewing experience, you could do so by watching the complete video until the end. Thanks, friends.
Talk to me about more pills that you guys used to share, and be honest with me.
I'm being honest right now.
They spent a couple minutes discussing all the drugs that they share with one another. The information is redacted, so I'm going to cut it out of the video. But let's just say there's a lot of drugs that these ladies were sharing with one another. And things are about to get very uncomfortable for Darrin because her secret is about to be revealed.
What would you guys get some whenever you guys didn't have any? And I don't care about where you guys are getting them or
Yeah,
what.
I know.
That's not what I'm investigating. I'm asking you to be honest with me.
Where would we get them?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
Honestly.
Yoli.
Okay, good. Thank you for being honest, okay? Most of the questions that I ask you, if not all of them, I already know the answer to,
Yes,
okay? And I want you to be honest with me,
I am.
okay? And I want you to tell me who Lonnie is.
Lonnie
Yes.
is my brother-in-law.
Your brother-in-law?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Joe's brother?
No, my sister's husband.
Your sister's husband. Okay. And you know where I'm going with this, right?
I am.
What's going on there?
Last summer, I went there to visit. Me and Lonnie had dated before.
Okay.
Before he got introduced to before he was with my sister.
Okay.
And when I went there, yes, it got everything that you can imagine, you know, was something.
I don't have that great of an imagination, so explain to me,
Okay.
please.
He would always be kind of physically attracted to me
Okay.
in that way. And it's hard to talk about.
I'm not writing anything down.
I know, it's just
This
hard
won't
to
leave the
talk
room.
about. Okay. Yes, we messed around.
Okay. So you guys were intimate with each other.
Yeah.
Okay. You and Lonnie.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows about that?
My sister.
She found out?
Oh, yeah.
Who told her?
Lonnie did.
Okay. Who else knows about it?
My friends knew about it.
Who's your friends?
Denise, Yoli. I told them what happened. When I came back, I told them what happened, and I said it was the worst mistake that I ever made. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. But yes, we were at one point intimate.
Okay. You and Lonnie.
Mm-hmm.
Where at? In Indiana or where? Where do they live at?
They live in Dallas.
They live in Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay. So you went to go visit.
With my son. Mm-hmm.
Lonnie used to be into you before your sister was?
Yes.
And you were intimate with him.
Yes.
How long ago was this?
It was last summer.
Okay.
June.
Does Joe know? He does not.
Mm-mm.
So it would make you upset if one of your friends would want to tell Joe. Right?
Well, he knows certain details. I think he knows, but he just doesn't want to say that
Right.
he knows.
But the question I'm asking you is,
Okay.
if one of your friends that knows is gonna tell Joe,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna make you mad, right?
That would make me mad.
Right. Okay. And I want to stop. Whatever little game that you're playing, or whatever little game that
Yeah.
you think you're playing, I want to stop that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Talk to me about the note that Denise was gonna leave at Joe's car.
Say what? Did he just say Denise was going to leave a note for Darrin's husband to expose the affair? The affair where she slept with her brother-in-law? Hang on. Hang on. Let me get something real quick. Okay, let's continue.
The note that she was gonna leave in Joe's car.
Well, that she did it and she went back to go get it.
I never knew about any note. I'm serious. I never knew about any note.
Okay. So none of that.
No, I never heard about any note.
Okay. Because last time that you guys got into it, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Denise was upset because you hit her where it hurt. Not physically, but emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
What am I getting at? When you guys were arguing, you said something that really hurt her feelings. What am I getting at?
Oh, I said something about being a bad mother or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that hurt.
That hurt. I knew it hurt, and that next day
Okay.
I said, I'm sorry. I even said that. I shouldn't have. I'm not even in the right to say that.
Right? But she retaliated by saying, I'm going to tell Joe.
When she was mad, yes.
Okay? So she retaliated saying that I'm going to tell Joe. That's going to make you mad. And that's going to make you upset. Correct?
It would make me upset.
Yes. Okay? And from our investigation, talking to people, okay, reviewing a lot of cell phone data,
Mhm.
okay, when you're upset, you're violent. Can you agree with that?
Not always, no.
Not always, okay, but sometimes you can be a little bit too much, right? Or
We
no?
both could have, yeah.
Yes, okay. So, short-tempered is the word. Not
Short.
violent, short-tempered.
Yes.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, short-tempered, okay? So something happened here where you're short-tempered. Because somebody struck you in the face, right? Broke your glasses, you were mad enough to call the police, to tell the management, and to hurt her with some words that you knew were going to hurt her,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And there's unpaid debts here from pills and money and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Money? I don't think we ever thought about money.
Okay. But pills, how do you buy pills?
From Yoli.
Yes, but with what do you buy pills with?
Money.
Right. So if I buy pills and I share pills with you, you owe me pills, but you also owe me what?
Money.
Right? So there was some unpaid debt between you and Denise. Is that correct?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. Recently?
Recently.
Yes.
Maybe, yeah.
Yes.
Probably yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Now I want you to remember, we live in a cyber world where whenever we text something, we make a phone call,
Yeah.
nothing really goes unseen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
When you came here, okay,
Mm-hmm.
the first time, okay, where I saw those scratches on your face, you told me that you fell in the bathtub and then in the restroom, and now you're telling me that this is exactly what happened the morning of the first. I fell close to the bathtub and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I asked you for consent so we can swab your cheek, your left one, and your right one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, you know what that's for, correct?
Yes.
What is it for?
DNA.
Right, DNA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the DNA, you don't have a twin, do you?
No.
Okay. So then your DNA is only your DNA, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So now what we did is you gave us permission to do that, right? I said maybe we get some swabs and stuff like that, right? So we did. Packaged them. And then the medical examiner, right? The person that performs the autopsy, then got some DNA samples from Denise, okay? And some foreign DNA samples from Denise, okay? When we send them to the lab to get tested and matched, guess which DNA is matched?
Probably mine.
Okay. Why would that be? Now, if it's something that you did in self-defense, now's the time. Because you can sit here and tell me your story the whole time,
Yes.
but you can't dispute DNA.
Oh, I know that.
Talk to me. What happened?
Okay, I'm talking to you.
Good.
Seriously.
Seriously.
Yes. I like talking to her. Do you mind?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Tell me what happened.
Okay. Denise had bought some ecstasy from Yoli. And yes, we did it together. And I remember, yes, I do remember her getting physical with me. Yes.
Okay.
And I was just sitting there, and after that, you know, drugs are bad. They do things to you, and you don't know what you're doing at that time whenever you're doing them. You know what I mean?
I could totally agree.
And yes, she started hitting me, and I just sat there, and you know, I don't even remember. Honestly, I'm talking to you seriously here.
Thank you.
I don't even remember how I got home. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay. Talk to me what happened inside of her apartment.
So I'm telling you. Yes, she got physical with me, and after that, I don't remember it.
Who was in her apartment when you were there?
Who was there?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody.
Just you and Denise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What day was this?
You know, I don't, you know, you rack your brain until it gives in to you. And it's like I do not know what the hell. I don't know.
Trust me, okay? I understand. People sometimes make mistakes.
Yes,
Okay.
I understand that too.
People make
People make
mistakes.
mistakes. We're human.
Exactly, okay?
You know, we're stupid like that. You know. But I don't remember anything after that. I don't.
Okay. Let's try to recollect a little bit, okay?
Okay.
You're in her apartment.
Yes.
The day, more or less. Is it?
More or less.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the day before New Year's.
The day before New Year's.
Mhm.
Okay. So then it's you and Denise in Denise's apartment.
Yes.
Okay. You guys are doing ecstasy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, do you remember what she's wearing when you show up?
No, I don't. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Now, why did she start assaulting you?
I don't know. I don't know.
How did you defend yourself?
I just remember sitting there. I don't remember even doing anything. I told her to stop. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember saying that, but you know,
How did you get those scratches on your face? Be honest with me. I'm not writing any of this down. Be honest with me.
I don't know. I really don't.
Okay.
I really don't.
So you didn't fall in your house?
Yes, I did fall in my house.
Okay.
I
Did-
did fall in my house.
Did you get those as a result because what happened in Denise's apartment?
I don't remember. Because I remember falling that day, and then I noticed scratches, yes, after I fell. So I figured, oh, I hurt myself falling because I landed straight on my face.
Okay.
You know,
Were you with Denise the day that she died? Think long and hard, because
what day was this?
you're telling me it was the day before New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Okay?
Mhm.
You're there at her house the day before New Year's Eve. You're there at her house, okay?
Mhm.
Doing ecstasy.
Yes.
It's just you and her.
Yes.
And then she started assaulting you, because you can remember that much.
Yes.
Okay? Now, what did you do as soon as she starts assaulting you?
Nothing. I remember telling her to stop,
Okay?
and you know, she kept doing it, and I just remember telling her to don't do that. I remember saying that.
And then what did you do?
After that, I don't know.
Okay. You need to be honest, because
I
the
am.
scientific fact, okay,
Yes.
of DNA is undisputable,
Yes.
right?
And yes.
So the fact that you sit here and tell me, well, I don't know what happened and stuff like that, was it a self-defense type thing? That's what. If that's what it is, then that's what it is, okay? But you
I would
have to,
tell you
okay?
if I remembered.
So you're at her apartment,
Yes.
okay, the day she dies, and she's assaulting you. You tell her to stop, and you don't remember the rest.
No.
Okay? I'm going to ask you an important question.
Okay.
Okay? Where is her cell phone at?
I don't know. I don't know.
You sure?
I'm sure. 'Cause I don't recall seeing it. I really don't. I know what it looks like because she was always.
What does it look like?
It was pink,
Okay.
and how I know that is I was always over there. She was texting on her phone. We knew what each other's phone looked like,
Right.
you know.
Right. And remember that we asked you if we can have your fingerprints, and you agreed to give us your fingerprints,
Mhm.
and we went downstairs and we fingerprinted you?
Mhm.
Okay. You know that fingerprints are pretty unique, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if I touch something, right?
Yes, your fingerprint's gonna be
Right. You know? Our skin, okay, if I touch my skin and somebody comes and puts dust on right here, what do you think they're going to find here?
there. Your fingerprints.
Right. So when we do a pathology check, the medical examiner and the criminalistics team does that check on Denise, whose fingerprints do you think we found?
Knowing from your judgment, probably mine.
Why would we find them?
I'm telling you the truth here. It's like my mom always says, you sit there and dig yourself a grave if you sit there and lie.
Yes. And that's why I need you to be honest with me.
I am being honest with you.
Something happened in that apartment, and you remember more than you're telling me. And I need you to remember.
remember.
Okay?
I don't. I don't.
You know, you happen to remember a little bit more than the last time we talked to you.
Yes.
Tell us what happened.
Because I've been sitting in my apartment, sitting here going, come on, Darrin, you know I've been racking every nerve that I have in my body just to even have a glimpse of what happened next. I don't know.
Just tell us the truth.
Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. God, don't you think that I want to remember? I mean, wouldn't you want to remember something that you did? Honestly? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, I mean, I've done ecstasy before, and every time I think about what happened next, I never know.
I think you do know. And I think you
I
do remember.
don't.
Okay?
I don't.
And I told you, we live in a world where
Yes, I know we live in a world where everybody, you do stupid shit. You do horrible things in this world.
we live in a world also where technology is at our fingertips, right?
Yes.
And we can easily recover it.
Yes.
Okay? And so you know that I'm not lying to you.
I know
okay?
that you're not lying to me. And I'm not.
And I'll tell you, and let me read to you something, see if it jogs your memory a little bit, okay? Think about a couple of weeks ago, you were showing me how you grabbed that girl at school and threw her into the trophy case. When you grabbed me so hard, I saw it in your eye, the anger and rage you felt then. You scare me. I should have known this was coming.
That was the day we had the fight.
Right? And you may not think we're friends. You may not think that we were friends, but I thought we were. Looking back, I see that you never text me, never walked with me, that you didn't ask me, can I have some pills? Face it, I was your pharmacy and you just used me for dog treats as well. That sound familiar?
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot
That
of the
was the
questions
day we
that I'm
had the
asking you,
fight.
I know the answers to.
That was the day we had the fight, yes.
Okay. Just tell me what happened in her apartment.
I don't know.
What
I
time did you
don't.
get there?
What time did I get there?
Mm-hmm.
The afternoon. 2, 3?
On the 30th.
Yeah.
And then, so you get there around 2 or 3, right? And how long do you guys hang out until it becomes violent?
Couple hours.
A couple hours before it got violent?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she started getting violent with you.
Mm-hmm.
You guys took ecstasy together.
Yes.
Okay. Were you guys intimate with each other?
Now, he's asking her if they've been intimate or if they were intimate with one another. We're going to get back to that point later on.
No. No.
Not that date, but you guys have been in the past? Or no?
No. No. We never have.
Okay. And I don't mean to be disrespectful by that. It's just that throughout our investigation, and Denise was your friend, you knew that Denise was bisexual.
I knew she experimented
Okay.
with Yoli. I remember because among friends, you see things,
Okay.
And they also told me, and
that's the only reason I ask, okay? To see if you guys were intimate with each other. So no, that's out of the question, correct?
yeah.
Okay. Now, when you get there on the 30th, right, to take ecstasy and hang out with her before it got violent, what was she wearing?
I don't remember. Oh shit. I'm thinking. Hold on.
Right, I'll wait for you.
Because I knew her wardrobe. She always wore pretty much the same. she would always wear those spaghetti type shirts.
Okay.
And
Darrin, can you remember what you guys were doing at her apartment before, well, while the ecstasy, because the ecstasy doesn't kick in right away, I imagine, right? You have to take it and it's a pill and it dissolves and things like that, correct?
yes.
Okay. Can you remember a little bit of what you guys were doing before the ecstasy pills kicked in? Were you guys drinking anything? Were you guys eating anything? Whatever the case may be.
We were drinking
Drinking what?
vodka.
Vodka?
Mhm.
Okay. Out of the bottle? Shots? Cups? How are you guys
Just
drinking?
cups.
Cups? Okay. What else?
She was eating.
What was she eating?
The time I think she was eating, because she always liked those peppermints, and she would always eat those peppermints.
Okay. That day, what was she eating?
I think she was eating, she had sugar cookies.
What else?
I remember eating chips.
Okay. Chips like sour cream or what?
No, just plain chips
Plain chips. Okay. With what?
with salsa, I think.
Okay. So that's what you guys. That's what she was eating. Were you having some with her too?
No.
Okay. So now you get there. You guys are gonna take ecstasy together. You don't remember what she's wearing. Okay.
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
That's fine. So then you guys are now eating chips and salsa.
She is.
She
yes.
is. Okay. And you guys are hanging out. It's just you and her.
Mhm.
Okay. Ecstasy pills are taken now. How many did you take?
One.
One. How many does she take?
One.
Okay, so now they start kicking in. And then you forget, and then the night goes blank for you.
Pretty much.
That's going to be hard to believe, Darrin. Okay? I'm being as honest as I can with you,
And I
okay?
am too.
That's going to be hard to believe because you're there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's evidence there, and there's forensic evidence, scientific evidence, okay? That you are all over her. So whatever happened is you need to tell me. Maybe you didn't mean to take it this far. Maybe you did. I don't know. I don't know, Darrin. Do you know me?
I don't know you.
Exactly. I don't know you either.
No, you.
You know?
Don't know me.
And
The
that's
one
what-
person that does is at her house. And the other person that does, he's 8.
Okay. So your son really knows you. And the other person is who?
My mother.
Okay.
She knows everything.
Have you talked to her about this?
Because she said to me, she said, why do I keep waking up at night thinking something happened? And I said, I don't know, Mom. And I talked to her today, and she said, you never can lie to your mother. She knows what you're thinking and doing 24/7.
Absolutely.
You know, she said, because we were outside talking today, and I was crying. I was crying around 12:30. We were outside talking, and I told her, I said, Mom, I took ecstasy.
Okay.
You know, and she looks at me, she says, you know, saying other things, Darrin, are you stupid? And I said, you know, I do make mistakes. Yes. I completely understand that I make mistakes. I've made a mistake with Lonnie. I made a mistake flat out. I know what happened with me and Lonnie. But what, you know, whenever you do drugs, they don't always affect you the same way. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, you're up drinking all night long and the next day you're totally confused, but that happens to me if I do that.
Okay. What did you tell your mom you did? Because you can't lie to your mother.
No.
So what did you tell her you did?
I told her, I said, I don't know what happened, Mom. I don't. And I was breaking down to her, and I was crying to her, and I said, Mom, don't you think that I would like to remember? You know? Why would you want to forget something like that? How could you forget something like that?
What did she tell you?
She just started crying. And, you know, when I'm stressed, my son feels it.
Okay.
And I don't like hurting my son.
Okay.
And that just kills me inside. That I don't remember.
What did you tell your mom that you were trying to remember?
I was trying to remember what happened next, and I don't.
There's bits and pieces that you're going to remember. And it's
Bits and pieces, yes.
Then talk to me about those bits and pieces.
I remember walking to my house, and my dog was following me.
Okay. Rewind a little bit. Start remembering bits and pieces of what happened
Trying.
once you took the ecstasy in that apartment.
Because you might think, oh, she's just sitting here lying.
I'm not. Look at me. I wouldn't do that. Do I feel you have something in
Because
on your chest? Go ahead.
Because I hate feeling this way.
And you're going to feel better talking about it. Trust me.
I know what I'm trying to remember.
Okay. Take the ecstasy pills. And then what comes back, bits and pieces, please. Help me piece this together. Let's piece this together.
Her kicking me.
Okay.
I remember her kicking me.
Okay.
And I just remember saying, oh, stop, you know. And
What part of the house are you in when she's kicking you? Can you remember that?
we were in the living room.
Okay. And then what happens? She kicks you. You tell her stop. What happens?
It just happens repeatedly.
Okay. Why?
You're on drugs, you don't know why.
Okay. I can understand that. So
You don't know why you do shit that you do whenever you're on. You think that it's.
So she's kicking you, and then what else? What else can you remember?
I just remember sitting there and
Sitting there and what?
just sitting there while she kicked me, you know. And I am not. Yes, I have my mood swings.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm on medication, because
Mm-hmm.
I have mood swings. Don't you think one would like to remember what happened? Because you know how much the kids love their mom.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I say hurtful things, and, you know, was the problem with me and her, is that we were both ill-tempered. We were more alike than think.
That's true.
And when you like to think and remember what you did to someone
Okay.
and sit there every day.
So you're sitting there and she's kicking you.
Yes.
Just try to remember
I'm
bits and pieces.
trying.
Because those kids that she loved very much
I know.
want closure,
I know they do.
okay? Want answers,
Yes.
no matter how difficult they are,
I know.
okay?
I
So
know.
that's why we need to sit here and we need to remember what happened, because you were there when something bad happened. There's no going around that,
Yes, I know.
okay? So you were there when something terrible happened, and now it's time to give those kids that she loved and she
Yeah.
cared about closure.
I know.
Okay? So she's kicking you, and then what happens?
I'm trying to remember.
Okay. And I want to help you remember. What happens next?
I just remember moving further from her. She was taking me.
Okay.
I don't know.
Why did it escalate so quickly?
Drugs kick in, you're on medication.
Okay.
You know, drugs affect your medication, you know? You're on meds for bipolar and then you take drugs. I mean, you do things that you normally wouldn't do, you know?
I need you to remember also where her phone is at. Because I know you know where it's at. At least give me that.
Where her phone is?
Yes.
I have no idea. I don't know. As I remember, it was on the table whenever we were there. I remember that part.
Mm-hmm. What else?
I remember it beeping. And then I just remember briefly walking down the street to my apartment.
You walked to your apartment after the fight happened between you guys on the 30th. And what do you do with her phone? Okay, look. This right here. Okay. Is her phone and those people she talked to remotely. So we're able to track the phone, where it goes. Okay? So
Mhm.
that's why I know. Okay? So that's why we need to start being honest with each other.
Well, tell me.
Where's her phone? I want you to tell me.
No.
Are we going to find that phone in your house?
Think so.
What did you do with it?
I don't remember. Just remember when I was walking home, I had my purse with me. And when I got home, my husband was up. I don't know.
Okay. Now you keep saying that this was the 30th, okay? And that's what you told me, so that's what we're going with, okay? Are you certain it was the 30th, or are you not sure? Was it New Year's Eve? When was it? Because if you tell me it's the 30th, then I have to believe you because that's your recollection and that was before the drugs kicked in. Okay?
Yes.
But now if it's New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, whatever it is, you need to tell me that. When was it that you went over to her house, you guys had those extra pills, had that fight, ate chips, had salsa, and did all that? When was it?
I thought it was the 30th.
Okay. Well, then we'll go with that because that's your recollection, okay?
I mean, look at me like I'm lying here.
I'm looking at you like I've been looking at you since I met you. I have no other way to look, okay?
Okay.
I will be honest with you, Darrin, okay? When I met you and we spoke, okay? I didn't believe those scratches because first you told me it was in the bathtub, and I wrote it down because I was writing notes when you were telling me. Bathtub, and then it went to restroom, okay? And now we can both, okay, say that any reasonable person would say those scratches are a result of what? After we know that all this happened, those scratches are a result of what?
Based upon what you told me, and I guess I don't remember the scratches until after I fell in the bathroom, and then Yoli came over to talk to me, and I was in the parking lot talking to her. And she said, "What happened to your face?" And I said, "Well, I fell earlier. You'd think that you fall, you're going to hurt yourself. You know."
What are they a result of? Based on everything that we know, okay? Because of what you're telling me, those scratches are a result of what?
Her hitting me?
Okay? Because that makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
Right? Okay? Now, you need to remember. Okay?
I'm trying to.
You need to remember, okay? Because there's a lot of things that are undisputable. You being there. Neighbor seeing you there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? A neighbor seeing you walk out. Okay?
Okay.
Phone records. DNA. Fingerprints. Things that are undisputable.
Yes.
Okay? And there's children grieving. 2 kids.
I know.
You know them.
I know them.
Where they want closure. And they want to know exactly what happened. And
No.
you're the person that's able to give them to them. Listen, I'm going to let you think about it. Think long and hard of what happened, because you know what happened.
I am.
Okay? And if you care about Denise that much,
I did. I did.
you know how much you love those kids.
Yes, I did.
For the moment, Darrin is sticking with her story that she can't remember the events of New Year's Eve. Heck, at this point, she won't even admit that she was over at Denise's apartment on New Year's Eve. The female detective attempts to speak with Darrin alone. This isn't a bad idea, considering the fact that Darrin appears to be more comfortable speaking with her.
Okay. Okay, it's 7:05. Okay. Have you thought about it a little bit?
Yeah. Trust me, I've been thinking about it ever since you dropped me off that night.
What else do you remember? Let's start here. Your reason for going over there that day.
The reason?
Yeah. Were you going over there to celebrate the new year, or?
Yeah, we were gonna hang out. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Like we normally do.
so was it on the 30th or the 31st that you went over there? You're going to celebrate the new year.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. Because Yoli was supposed to hang out with us on the 31st,
Okay.
but she didn't. I remember the 30th.
You remember the 30th? Okay. So you went over there. What were you wearing that day when you went to go see her?
I was wearing blue jeans and
Is it the ones you have on right now?
no.
No? Okay. What else were you wearing besides jeans?
A brown shirt, I think.
A brown shirt, like a long sleeve, short sleeve,
Long sleeve.
long sleeve? What else? What kind of shoes?
pairs of shoes. I don't remember which ones they were.
Okay. So you get there, what happens? You get her to her door.
I get to her door.
Uh-huh. Let's take it slow. You get to her door. Do you knock?
I always knock.
Okay. And then what happened?
She answered the door,
Okay.
and I had my dog with me, and I brought my dog in.
Okay.
We sat down, we're talking.
Okay, we're going to take it slow. So she answers the door. Picture when she answers the door. What was she wearing? You tell me you want to remember, so I want to
Yes.
help you. Okay, let's picture it. You knock on the door, she opens it. What is she wearing?
She had on, she had blue jeans on,
Okay.
and she had on a different colored shirt. It was different colors.
Okay. So you walk in.
Mm-hmm. We start talking.
Okay.
We took the pills, and we just continued talking for a couple hours,
Watching TV or just talking?
listening to the TV.
Okay. And what were you talking about?
Everything. We say everything to each other.
Okay. For a couple of hours, everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what happened after those couple of hours?
Then I remember the ecstasy kicking in.
Okay.
After we took the ecstasy,
Mm-hmm.
it made her violent. Like I told him, I remember that part.
How did it make her violent? Describe it.
Kicking, hitting,
Okay. And where were you at that time when she was doing that to you?
on the couch.
On the couch. And where was she?
Like I was sitting this far away from her.
Like where we're at? Okay. And she gets up and starts to do that to you, or from the distance she starts kicking you and hitting you?
No, she would get close to me and kick me,
Okay.
and then hit me, yeah.
Okay. What was she saying to you?
She was... I remember her saying, "Come on, I know you have a reaction." And I was just sitting there.
Mm-hmm. Now, as a woman, I'm telling you, I have many friends, female friends, and sisters. And I know how something so minute, an argument, can escalate.
Yeah.
Even my own sisters, you know? It gets physical. Okay? And you're telling me you have a short temper. And from her telling you, "Come on, I know it's in you," what happened? She's kicking you. You're saying she's hitting you, she's kicking you. What were you doing?
Sitting there.
Letting her do that.
Yes.
Knowing that you've shared with us that you have a short temper.
Yes. I mean, I have a short temper, but it's not that I get aggressive with my temper. My temper involves yelling, you know.
Mm-hmm. But if somebody, one of my friends gets upset and starts hitting me and kicking me, I don't think I'm going to sit there calmly and just let him do it.
I just remember looking at her while she did it, and I said, "Why are you kicking me?" And she just kept saying the same thing. And
What happened?
I'd like to remember.
Mm-hmm. You're starting to remember more. What happened after that?
I'm trying to remember.
Do you get up?
No, I just kept moving over.
What are you thinking about, Darrin?
Trying to think about what happened. That's what I'm thinking about.
You've been thinking about that all week?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you tell me when we first met that you were there?
I was more stunned than anything.
But you don't think that's important to tell me?
I do.
Because you were there.
Yes, I should have told you that I was there.
And yes, you did lie. I'm over that. I'm over that. Okay? But I want you to be honest with me.
I am being honest with you. I am.
And I want you to show me that you're being honest with me. Okay? And I want you to show me that you're being honest with me.
Okay.
Okay? What happened to her phone?
Yes, I remember walking and I remember looking in my purse. So I was wondering if I had my phone.
Where is it at?
But no, when I started walking home, I stopped at the dumpster to throw something away.
And what did you throw away?
I had stuff in my hand.
Stop, Darrin, stop. What did you throw away? What did you throw away?
Probably your phone.
Probably, or her phone?
Yeah.
Why did you throw it away?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because you panicked.
But I don't even remember anything.
You remember that,
I
okay?
remember that.
Listen, Darrin, okay? It's time to be done with these games.
I'm done with the games.
Okay.
I've been done with the games.
Thank you, okay? You took her cell phone from the apartment and you took it to the dumpster. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The dumpster is... we have to veer away from your apartment to go to the to go to your apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you go out of your way to get rid of the phone. And I want to know why.
I was scared.
Okay? What were you scared of?
I was wondering why I had it.
You know exactly why you had it.
I did.
Tell me.
I am telling you.
You tell me, I want you to believe me. That's what you tell me, right? And
Yes.
I want to believe you. Okay?
Okay.
That's why I'm asking you questions to the answers that I already know. Because
Okay.
I want you to be honest with me. And I
Yes.
want to believe you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So now we've established that you were at her house. Okay? And what day was it?
I think it was the 30th. I
Okay.
think.
Then Carter, what day was it? Because you remember it. Remember, there's witnesses, there's phone records, and things like that. So remember, what day was it? What day was it, Darrin?
30th was a Friday. Was it on Friday?
Oh, the 30th was Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So what day was it, Darrin?
Saturday.
Saturday. Saturday's the 31st.
Okay.
Saturday you were at her house.
Yes.
Okay. So we've established that. Okay. You go over there to hang out, party a little bit, because you guys are going to pop some ecstasies.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? Okay. We've established that. Okay. Something happened and you panicked and you got the phone and you went to go throw it in the dumpster. Okay. That I know.
Okay.
From investigating and what you're telling me, that I know. Okay?
Okay.
Now, I want you to tell me where exactly on her body are we going to find your fingerprints and DNA?
Where are you gonna find?
Remember you said Darrin's done playing games.
Yeah, Darrin is done playing games.
Okay. Where are we going to find Darrin's fingerprints and DNA on Denise's body?
I don't know. If I knew, I would tell you. And I'm not lying. If I knew, I would tell you. I don't know.
Why was Denise nude?
Huh?
Why was Denise nude?
Now, here is where I'm confused. I've had the luxury of watching this entire video multiple times. They found Denise nude. Watch the rest of the video and please explain to me, why do you think Denise was nude in light of what you hear for the rest of the video? And keep it clean, fellas.
I wasn't aware that she was. I don't know. I didn't know she was.
Okay.
Now, police have been wearing down Darrin for hours. It finally starts to show. Hours into the interrogation, they finally get her to understand, you will tell us the truth.
My partner's out following other leads and talking to people and things like that, okay? Because we're actively and thoroughly investigating this, okay? And that's why I want you to get rid of those I don't knows, okay? Just let me speak for a
There
little
is
bit.
no more, I don't know.
There's no more I don't knows. That's perfect. No more I don't knows. No more I don't remember. Because you're not new to pills. You're not new to weed. You're not new to a lot of things, okay? So, let's move forward with this, okay? And I know that I've been letting you be, okay? But know that I've been letting you be so you can gather your thoughts, okay? I know you've been a little apprehensive, so I want you to put your guard down, okay? And let's go step by step on everything that happened and don't leave any details out. Is that understood?
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Let's start with the day of the incident. When was the date of the incident?
31st.
12/31 of 16. Around what time did you go over her place?
Around 9
AM or PM?
p.m.
PM. Okay. Now I want you to be honest with me because I recovered all of her stuff.
It was around that time.
Okay, that's fine. I don't want you to get it right on the minute, but I want you to be honest with me, okay?
From 8 to 9, somewhere in there.
Okay, that's fair. So you go to her apartment, where do you go?
Her apartment.
And her, we're talking about Denise Weatherly.
Well, this started all earlier in the day. Like I said, she took me to Walmart to get money, and then...
Okay, hold on. Is that you had driven yourself to Walmart? Okay. Did you go by yourself?
Yeah.
What did you drive there or did you walk there or what did you do?
No, I drove.
You drove what car?
My mom's truck that she gave me.
Okay, so then she drove you to Walmart?
Oh yeah, she.
Okay.
I thought I said that.
I was under the impression that you drove yourself. So
No.
she drove
She drove me.
Walmart. Okay. Blue or green?
Blue.
On Mesa?
Yes.
Is that the same one that you were telling me?
Uh-huh.
That's the one where... Go ahead, tell me what you guys went to go do there.
My dad had sent me money. I have the reference number in my phone.
Okay. So he gets you money and then what happens?
We're there until I get it. It takes about 20 minutes. We leave. Go back to my apartment for a while. She goes back home. And then I go over there later on because she told me that she was going to get some ecstasy from Yoli, and we were going to celebrate the New Year together. So I went over there and, you know, we took the ecstasy and it was okay for a couple hours. We were just hanging out, talking to each other. And then what I figured is just a bad trip. When you're on ecstasy, you do things you normally don't do. So she, you know, we got into a confrontation. She started hitting me and kicking me and, you know, saying things to me and...
Out of the blue?
Out of the blue. Just out of the blue. It's happened. It's like, one minute we were talking about, you know, laughing, and then the next minute it's like night and day.
Where were you guys at? Kitchen, living room,
We were in the
bathroom?
living room.
Living room.
She was eating chips and salsa.
So you were telling me the truth about the chips and salsa.
Mm-hmm. She
Okay.
was eating chips and salsa and drinking her drink, and so was I, and
What were you guys drinking?
vodka
Okay.
and apple juice, I think.
Okay.
And she just started hitting me, and then I tried to leave, but she won't let me leave.
What was she hitting you at?
My chest.
Did you bleed?
No, I didn't bleed, but my body hurts.
Okay. So then she starts punching you, right? And then what
She
happens?
kicked me right here where I have the bruise with the scratches from when I fell in the bathroom.
Okay. So she kicked you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She repeatedly kicked me, and I just sat there because I was in my own little world, and then she... Because it wasn't uncommon for her to answer the door with no pants on, or... You know, it wasn't uncommon for her to do that with me, because it's not like I care, you know.
What was she wearing when you showed up?
I don't remember.
Was she
Really?
pantless?
Huh?
Was she pantless?
When I got there?
Uh-huh.
No. Because I got there earlier when we went to Walmart. She was wearing jeans and maybe a black shirt, maybe.
Okay.
And while she was hitting and kicking me, I was thinking to myself that, you know, she's not going to let me leave, and she's getting very... I know you go through bad trips whenever you do stupid things, you know. I wasn't taking it any more than her just going on a bad trip, and then she just got violent all of a sudden.
Okay. How did you defend yourself?
Well, first I kept pushing her away, just sitting there. I just remember sitting there, and she kept like clapping her hands in front of me and saying, do something, do something. And I just was, for a brief second, I was thinking, she's not going to let me leave. I have an 8-year-old son.
Okay. So then what did you do? Tell me in details.
Took her by the neck,
Okay.
and she kept fighting with me
Were you guys standing up?
at first.
Okay. And then what happens? When you guys fall to the ground, are you on top or is she on top?
She was on top first,
Okay.
and then I flipped her over
Okay.
because she was on top of me, so. And put my hands around her
Put her hands around where?
neck.
Okay. And then what did you do?
I just kept until she would quit.
And you were on top by
Because
this
I
time?
thought to myself that, it could have been me laying there.
Okay.
And I have a little boy that in my life.
The resting point was her on the bottom and you on top?
At first?
Yes. The resting point. So at first you guys were standing up?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that when you grabbed her neck or no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you guys fall to the ground at one point?
She's on top of me at first.
Okay. And then what do you do?
She starts kicking and hitting, and I flip her over
Okay.
and grab her by the neck and I just wanted her to quit.
Okay. And she finally did quit, right?
Yes.
When I first met you, okay, and you came here voluntarily, we took saliva swabs from you and fingernail clippings, right?
Yes.
And those we had checked for DNA, okay, and fingerprints on her body, okay? Like I told you before, when you were saying, I don't knows, I don't knows, I don't knows, okay?
Mhm.
Where are we going to find your fingerprints on her body?
Her neck.
What are we going to find in your fingernails?
Her DNA.
Okay. I wasn't bluffing when I was telling you that. Okay? And thank you for dropping that I don't knows. Okay?
Darrin Marie Yeager was sentenced to 27 years for strangling her best friend, Denise Weatherly. She is, however, eligible for parole in the year 2036. Let's hope her time in prison gives her a chance to sober up and seize that opportunity if and when that happens. Thank you to everyone who was gracious enough over the last month to either buy me a coffee or to send me a cash app. My wife and I thank you very much. Thank you for watching. They caught me. Till next time.